Hey everybody, welcome to Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. He is Mike Quick, he is Ike Reese, I am John Clark. Birds are in rarefied air. They're trying to go to 11-1 for just the fourth time in team history. The last team to do it, last Eagles team, this man was on it, Ike Reese, 18 years ago. Sorry to age you. But how about the Eagles winning a shootout against the Packers? This could be a defensive slugfest against the Titans, but they're winning all kinds of different ways, aren't they?
I tell you, from the defensive side of the ball, we certainly don't want to have to win games by shootouts. And as you look at what they were able to do Sunday, they're getting better. Third down, getting off the field on third down the last 2 weeks, I think has certainly improved for this defense. Able to get 2 interceptions off Aaron Rodgers, get him off his spot, also had 3 sacks there. I like what the defense is starting to do. I know the final numbers may not be indicative of how they're truly playing, but they've gotten better each week.
But if they have to win in a shootout, they've shown the ability to do that. And this week, I was so impressed with the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, the NFC's Offensive Player of the Week, I must say. He rushed for 157 yards, but he was so good when he needed to throw the football. Coming down the stretch when he needed to throw it, he was excellent. I really wanted to talk about the offensive line, but what really sticks out is Jalen Hurts and his performance.
And one of the most impressive things to me about Jalen Hurts taking care of the football, only Tom Brady has a better interception percentage. He is not throwing interceptions. Let's get a breakdown of Jalen Hurts and what he's doing with the Eagles quarterback coach, Brian Johnson. Here he is with our own Fran Duffy, a little tape study presented by Chickies and Pete's.
Well, joining us here this week for Tape Study presented by Chickies and Pete's, Eagles quarterbacks coach Brian Johnson. And coach, just an outstanding performance from Jalen Hurts this past week against Green Bay. First quarterback in NFL history to run for 150, throw for 150, and throw for at least 2 touchdowns. What else can you say about this performance from Jalen?
Well, yeah, he played a great game. You know, credit him and his preparation and his studying. The team around him, we played great. Offensive line played well. Receivers made plays. You know, it was just overall just a great team win for us.
Well, let's take a look at one of the biggest plays in the game. It's late in the second quarter. You guys are driving in the strike zone here at the 30-yard line. A touchdown from Jalen to Quez Watkins. What is it that made this play work?
Well, I think the biggest thing is Jalen's timing and just understanding when to get the ball up. You know, we talk about these deep ball landmarks, throwing them versus press, throwing them versus off. It's just a great job of him understanding, taking that 3 and a hitch to get the ball up, and a fantastic route by Quez Watkins here. You see him getting the guy running and sticking, right, to get the DB's head to turn. So right there, as you pause right there and you see that quick stick right there, freezes the DB and puts him in a position where he has to try to turn, and now he has no vision on the ball. So the ball is up with the DB's back turned to us. And Jalen is doing a great job of putting that ball placement there to make sure that, you know, our eyes are up and we can see the ball while the DB can't. It was a fantastic play to cap off the 2-minute drive and, you know, really use the clock and not leave them any time to get the ball back because we knew they were getting it first out of the half. So just an overall great 2-minute drive, a way to cap it off, having great timing and understanding when to get that ball up versus off coverage.
So is this just kind of like a spot throw for Jalen? He just has to trust that that Quez is going to make this play? Or what exactly are the coaching points for Jalen here?
Yeah, so the biggest thing now is just really resetting his safety in the middle of the field. So right there, you see he kind of confirms he has a single high coverage, and then understanding versus off coverage, I can take a hitch to confirm, right, where I need to throw this ball. So as you see right there on the hitch step, right, the DB is not looking at the quarterback. So now we know his eyes are turned, and then when Quez gives him his eyes, now we know we can throw a firm back shoulder to get that ball up and down before the DB can get his eyes around and make the play.
All with under a minute left in the half. Like you said, the importance of being able to get that score going into halftime is big. Now, Jalen, that was one of the biggest throws of the game. Let's talk about some of the runs as well. This is from the first quarter. A third and 6 situation. What exactly makes this play work?
So, you know, right here we get a man-to-man look. Obviously, we're covered down, but this is a play right here where we have several options, right? So we can run, right, the quick out here to Smitty, right? We can run a swing pass out here to the tailback, and it's all dependent on who we get in conflict. So here in this case, it happens to be number 51. So that motion right there gets us a man-to-man indicator. Okay, so we now know we have man-to-man coverage in this case. So right there, now it just becomes a simple game of math, right? So now it's 5 on 5, right? These 5 plus that 5. And now Kelsey right? Does a great job of getting to the linebacker and it turns into quarterback draw. So just a great read by Jalen. Great job by the offensive line, creating a bunch of space and Jalen just running to the grass.
When we talk about some of these design runs, certainly the read element comes into a play as well. And we see that here on this play, a really unique run design. Take us through what exactly happens here on this one.
So here you see we have a 5 on the line structure, right? So Green Bay has 5 defensive linemen on the structure. So again, we're trying to find ways to create conflict for the defense, right? So right here, we're going to take this guy to the deep end of the pool. We're going to make him make a decision, right? Are you going to take Miles Sanders on this sweep, right? Or are you going to bend and give us a sweep? Or are you going to go up the field, take the sweep away, and then the quarterback will pull it? So here we have a counter scheme pulling both the guard and the tackle. And this is just a great job by the offensive line, getting great angles on those blocks right there. And now Jalen's eyes are right here on this guy. So we're going to drop, and he has excellent footwork to let Miles get across in case he has to bubble back right there, right? And we're reading 55. So if 55 is up the field, okay, we're going to pull it and run. If he squeezes, we're handing this ball off on the sweep. So again, we're going to try to take this guy to the deep end of the pool and make him make a decision. So an excellent job by the O-line creating these lanes. Great job by Jack Stoll here, pinning the tight end. And now we get a free run here on the safety following the inside hip of Lane Johnson. So just another great job to get us blocked up to the safety, and a good job by Jalen trying to get the stiff arm and getting himself down.
Eagles Game Plan is brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers, proud automotive partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy. Pepsi, Eagles watching, better with Pepsi. PA Lottery, there's a lot of love for the PA Lottery, and when you see how fun it is, you'll understand why.
First game ball, obviously, how many yards rushing we have? 350. So everybody on that offensive line, Miles, Jalen, right, excellent job. Offensive line, tight end, good job. Think about the great quarterback. He set the franchise record of quarterbacks. We got Randall Cunningham, right? We got Michael Vick. Right, there's been some great quarterbacks rushing here, and he set that record, so that was awesome. But I want to recognize these two guys, all right? One guy had such a big year for us last year, and then we brought somebody in, we brought AJ in, right, and he had to take a little bit of a back seat. But he kept affecting the game, even when he wasn't having the stats that he should have had. In the last 2 or 3 games, he's made big-time plays. And we're going to keep needing him to make big-time plays, and we trust him to make big-time plays. And he accepted his role, he started in his role, and then his role changed, and he started in that quest. Down, man. Right, the next guy made some big tackles today. Wasn't a starter, was asked upon to come in and make some plays and made a huge pick. Get that steal right now!
All right, that's pretty cool. Nick Sirianni, maybe for the first time giving out game balls in the locker room after the game. He usually waits a day. But the O-line and the running backs, of course, get a game ball. Miles Sanders is now 5th in the NFL in rushing yards. What has impressed you the most about that performance? 363 yards on the ground.
Well, you really have to talk about the offensive line when you're talking about that performance because they were so good up front. They really controlled the line of scrimmage. They moved the tackles quite a bit in this game. And that's the play I want to break down for us. If you watch this, it's a tackle trap. You're going to get Lane Johnson going across the formation to the left side to trap the defensive tackle. Landon Dickerson will take a step towards him, but he gets up to the second level. So does Jack Stoll. They both get to the second level. You see that tackle coming upfield, and Miles Sanders finds a seam. Now, Kenny Clark gets a hit on him right at the line of scrimmage, but he couldn't get enough of him. Miles gets to the second level, but don't forget that block right at the end. You've got the wide receiver, A.J. Brown, getting a block to get him into the end zone. And when you have plays that work so well, It's everybody working together, and just an outstanding play.
Going to get a lot harder this week, though. This is a Titans team, third best rushing defense in the NFL. Nasty, punch you in the mouth, old school defense. So let's get a little breakdown of that from Greg Cosell. Here is Enemy Intel presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers.
So when you look at the Tennessee Titans defense versus the Philadelphia Eagles offense, we are talking now about a true heavyweight matchup. That's one thing that always stands out when you watch the Titans on defense, and it's very reflective of their head coach, Mike Vrabel. This is a strong, physical, competitive team, plays hard on every single snap, and they come after you. But it all starts with the run game, and that's where it's likely to start against the Eagles, coming off an outstanding running game performance last week. Now, the key to all this for the Titans is Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons may be the strongest defensive tackle in the NFL. Maybe not the quickest, maybe not the most laterally explosive, but when you talk about his ability to control, displace, and move people, and we're talking about offensive guards and offensive centers, there may be no one better in the NFL than Simmons, and he's going to be up against a really strong, big, physical Eagles offensive line. So buckle up, Eagles fans. This one will be fun to watch.
All right, we know how good the Titans are with their rush defense. How about overall? They're giving up less than 19 points a game, one of the best defenses in the NFL. How much is their defense going to affect Jalen Hurts in this game?
Well, hopefully not much, but it shouldn't be a surprise with a Mike Vrabel-led defense coming from the school of Bill Belichick that they're very good, they're physical, and one of their staples is trying to confuse offense. So when you think you're getting blitzes or you're getting extra pressure, what the Tennessee Titans like to do is they'll give you simulated pressure. And what I mean by that is they'll give you a four-man rush. You just don't know which four men are coming. Sometimes they'll bring the linebacker or DBs from the outside and they'll drop the D tackles or the D ends out in coverage. That's all designed to keep confusion with your offensive line. And the Eagles are going to have to do a great job of recognizing when they see that sim pressure and then learn where to attack it at.
It's going to be up to Kelsey. It's going to be up to Jalen Hurts to understand what they're doing post-snap. You have to try and figure out who's coming, because they'll drop big guys in coverage. They'll drop big guys to take away the quick throws. You just don't know where the pressure is going to come from, and that's where the Eagles have to be very sharp, understanding who's coming and who's got it. Where do I pick up?
Burn the ship today. Burn the ship, man. Let's go. Gang on three. 1, 2, 3. See, he do that every time he play against us, get us in space. Woo! I can breathe now. Every time I tie him for fourth in the franchise, he stays up in head.
All right, Fletcher Cox right there. Nick Sirianni said he had his best game of the season. Jonathan Gannon said he was a unicorn in the game. And how about the Eagles facing Derrick Henry? Not only does he lead the NFL in yards after contact, he's broken the most tackles in the NFL. I'm glad it's not going to be cold on Sunday trying to tackle Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and Derrick does break a lot of tackles, but I think this year some of those broken tackles are a little different, or those yards after contact, because a lot of them are coming. He's getting hit in the backfield. And what you have to do, starting with our defensive line up front, we have to reestablish that line of scrimmage, win there, and get to Derrick Henry before he gets going. If you're able to get to Derrick Henry before he gets out of that backfield, you have a much better chance keeping his yards to a minimum. But if he gets ahead of steam and can get behind those shoulder pads, get to your second level, it could be a long day for us. We have to do a great job of winning up front, establishing the line of scrimmage on their side of the football, and I think we can do that with our defensive line.
I'll tell you what, the Bengals did a great job against Derrick Henry, and the Packers also held him to around 3 yards a carry. He hasn't had a run over 9 yards the last 2 weeks, but he's had some big plays in the passing game, actually. So let's get a breakdown what it's going to be like to face Derrick Henry. Here is Greg Cosell with another Enemy Intel presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers.
If you like tough, physical, competitive football, then the Tennessee Titans offense is what you like to watch. There is not a lot of mystery to what they want to get done on the offensive side of the ball. It starts with Derrick Henry, and the foundation of what they do in the run game is the zone run. And what do you want to do in the zone run game? You want to stretch the front side and cut off the back side. That's the foundation. And there's a great example here that we're going to show you. And there are a couple of things that are really important. The offensive center here, Ben Jones, this is a zone run to the right. He must reach and seal the one technique defensive tackle. But the front side, they're just going to push it out as far as they can. Just run with it to the outside and let Derrick Henry pick the hole. He's an outstanding cutback runner. He has great vision. When he sticks his foot in the ground and goes, he is really difficult to stop. He's a big man who can generate speed and velocity in a hurry. It will all start on the offensive side of the ball for the Titans with Derrick Henry and their zone run game. The Eagles and their base defensive front, 5 men across, they must line up and stop the run, maybe better than they have in any game this season. That's the matchup. That's the challenge.
Hey, the Titans are only averaging 299 yards of offense a game, 4th fewest in the NFL. They like defensive slugfest, but Ryan Tannehill, sneaky the last couple games. He's throwing the ball well. What do you have to watch out for with Tannehill?
Well, he likes to throw the ball in the middle of the field. That's where he wants to throw the ball. There's more confidence there. He feels like he can get the ball to his receivers at a quicker pace. But here's what we need to do. We need to be able to confuse him a little bit, give him a little bit of a disguise and make him pay for it, much like they did last week with Aaron Rodgers. Let's take a look at a play down here. Now, at the pre-snap here, Aaron Rodgers looks over the field and he sits in this could be man coverage. So what do? Offensively? They send Allen Lazard in motion just to make sure. And once Marcus Epps comes across the field with Allen Lazard, now Aaron Rodgers is saying, yes, I got what I want. It's man. Let's go. Snap of the ball. Watch how the Eagles, as a defense, shift into this cover 2 sort of quarters coverage shell. And as this play develops, Aaron Rodgers is going to believe Robert Tonyan has come free. He's thinking there must be some sort of mistake that happened on the back end here. They left this guy wide open. But what you see is Reed Blankenship sitting back here, reading the quarterback's eyes, keeps his shoulder pass square to the line of scrimmage so he can see the entire field. And that's why he's able to get the type of break on this ball that he does, because he's watching Aaron Rodgers the entire time. Great job by Jonathan Gannon coming up with this coverage to disguise, pre-snap, confuse the veteran quarterback, and then the young fella, the first undrafted rookie to get an interception off the great Aaron Rodgers. Great job by Reed Blankenship making this coverage pay off with a big interception down here. That's what you're going to have to do against Ryan Tannehill, because this is where he likes to throw the ball at. So a different pre-snap look, and at the snap of the ball, sometimes we're going to jump either into zone or it can be reversed where they may show zone first and then jump into man.
All right, welcome back to Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. You could expect a different game than last week's shootout against the Packers, maybe a low-scoring game. Eagles and Titans both giving up around 19 points a game. What are you looking at in this game?
So there's a matchup with Christian Fulton, their cornerback, really good player out of LSU in his 3rd season. He and A.J. Brown, they were together for a couple of years down there. And with A.J. Brown going up against his former teammate, I think I want to watch that matchup very closely because I know they know each other really well, and I know A.J. has something to prove against that football team.
Could be a little chippiness out there with those receiver and DBs.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go down in the trenches, right? Josh Sweat coming off a game where he had a sack, and Javon Hargrave, who's actually leading defensive tackles in Pro Bowl voting right now. I want to watch those two guys on that side of the defense go up against that left side of the Titans offensive line. I don't know who's going to be in there in this game because they've been mixing and matching guys all year. Can't keep guys healthy. I expect Josh Sweat and Javon Hargrave to have a big game. If they can win on 1st and 2nd down and put the Titans in a situation where they have to throw the ball, I love the matchup over there with Sweat and Hargrave going up against that left side.
All right, and the Eagles actually have a chance to clinch a playoff spot if they win and get some help. So this is going to be a good one, Eagles-Titans. Thanks for watching Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. He's Ike Reese. He's Mike Quick. I'm John Clark. Enjoy the game. Eagles Game Plan is brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers, proud automotive partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy. Pepsi, Eagles watching, better with Pepsi. PA Lottery, there's a lot of love for the PA Lottery, and when you see how fun it is, You'll understand why.